And we go invite.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. I have come for losing my control.
You're listening to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to discover.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
You are muted, sir. We cannot hear you.
Oh, hey, hello, everyone. Me and this microphone here are not being friendly tonight for some reason, but hey, welcome everyone to UFO Uncover. I hope you enjoyed all those promos and the music and whatever else out there.
Speaking of your song that we just played, I haven't asked you about this. Now, did the guy that made it did he use AI or did he use a theremin
for what?
The music.
Oh man, that shit's 30 years old, man.
Yeah, so it can't be AI. So what he must have used like a theremin or something like that.
Yeah, he's still around. He's actually got a little page on YouTube. What's that, Clever Reese? What's up? No, we're gonna be talking about ET quite a lot tonight. But you mean the song? The song was written so way back before the moon actually was part of the Earth's tidal system. I hosted a show called Wake Up USA, a UFO study. Wasn't on this network, wasn't my show. I was like host number 5, I believe. By far the best looking and most charismatic of all the hosts before and after.
And longest running, yes.
Yes, and the longest running by quite a bit too. John Greenwald Jr. actually hosted that show as well before me.
I know. Well, I don't know him, but I know who he is.
Yeah, and he was one of the hosts on there back when he was like 15 or something. I think he hosted it for a year.
Wow.
And I hosted it for 4, going on 5. The problem is a friend of mine offered me ownership of a radio station in China, just a small. It's called Pioneer Radio Network. They had a couple 100,000 following through Hong Kong. This is before it went back to China, and so he had offered to me. I said, "Well, cool. I'll put Wake Up USA on there, or I should, as one of the shows for the network." Well, he calls me up one day having a fit about it. I'm like, "Dude, what does it matter?" I said, "It's just being played in another country now that we didn't have access to."
Yeah,
and he just kept having a fit. So I said, "Well, look, if you're going to be like that, then I'll go ahead and retire from Wake Up USA now." And then that's how UFO Paranormal Radio Network was founded. That's how UFO Undercover was founded. Both came around to be. Yeah, UFO Paranormal Radio served a dual purpose. It was to help. What was really it technically ICAR owns UFO Paranormal Radio. The International Community for Alien Research technically owns United Public and UFO Paranormal Radio. It was always designed to be a way for our research to get out into the general public without having to be waiting to get invited onto other television shows or other radio stations. When you have 30, 40, 50 shows on your own network with a variety of hosts talking about a variety of things, word gets out a lot faster. It goes viral a lot faster. It's just easier when you're doing searches. More than likely, somebody in this network is going to come up with it. Actually, Coast to Coast did that, Jeffrey. Yeah, I didn't do it. No, I actually come to find out there's a couple of these clips floating around of my material. Usually somewhere on there it says from Joe Montaldo or iCar, but sometimes they don't show me though. A lot of times you can hear me talking. And what are you going to do, man? In all honesty, it irks me sometimes, but to be honest, the fact that the information is getting out there and people are getting to the people it needs to be actually makes me happy. So, I mean, that is, after all, this radio show, the network, and the International Community for Alien Research is goal is to get the truth to the people without the bullshit. Yes. Same thing we do on a news night. When you listen to us talk, we're just talking about the news articles. We're not talking it. After we know the actual article is legit, we just talk about the article. Yeah, we don't because first off, you got to know what you're talking about is legit, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. I have seen so many bullshit polls lately that I have frankly just lost count of them all. Well, so what is today? Wednesday. So on Sunday, or I'm sorry, actually on Saturday, we launched the APC poll. What do you think about Donald Trump? What do you think about Donald Trump's handling the economy? Epstein, how much does it affect your vote on Epstein? I mean, how you feel about Trump on Epstein? And what was the other thing?
Economy.
It was. Wait, what was the first thing I told you?
How do you think Trump is doing? What is your overall opinion of him?
Yeah. So, that's what it was. So, it was what's your overall opinion of Trump? Combined, what is your view of Trump? And then the one was about the Epstein files, and then the other one was about handling the economy. Out of everything, he got the worst grade in handling the economy, with 44% of America saying they're okay with the job he's doing. And then it is actually a category that says okay with the job he's doing, but wish they could do better. That was the majority one picked out of everything by far. And then about 36% of the people who took it said he was doing a bad job, a piss poor job, and the other ones were mixed. So
at least he's doing the job. You're trying. Anyway.
Well, if you put everything together, he's holding somewhere between 40 and 55%. And I imagine it's fluctuating all the time, because down here was getting pretty bad, and then things started getting cheaper again, except for ground meat, but everything else is starting to come down. I mean, even Walmart said they're going to make sure that Thanksgiving dinner this year is 15% cheaper than it was last year. So that's Walmart. Nice. They hate us. What is that, Jimmy? Yeah, you know what? The CEO of Walmart probably is an alien. Yes, he probably is. So, I get these emails all the time. Joe, what do they actually know? What do we actually know about extraterrestrials? Who do we actually know about extraterrestrials? What is it? Does the government know? Do the contactees know? The everyday people know? Does the army know? Does the military, the space command know? Well, what do you think? I mean,
if Space Command doesn't know, then there's a problem.
Well, I mean, really, I haven't seen any of our government put a posture on that would suggest that we were fearful for an alien invasion. Unless they're putting stuff, unless Elon Musk has the real Drax syndrome and those are real lasers he's putting up in space, I don't really see where we've put all that much up there that would, let's just say, deter 3-Eye Atlas from coming and killing us all.
Well, how many satellites does he have? How many satellites do we have? Overall, there's, I'm not sure, but I think the number is well over 1 million things floating around up there. Some are active, many are inactive or run out of power, energy, whatever.
A lot of us
but the idea was SDI, the Strategic Defense Initiative by Reagan, to put something up there to deter extraterrestrial attackees.
So that's the thing. And see, now they don't even think there's lasers in space anymore to shoot out ETs. They think we're powering them from Earth because we can get way more power from here than we can in space, because we have to rely on solar panels in space. And to get the kind of power to really have like a rock splitting plasma cannon, you'd have to have a big ass solar array. I mean, everybody down here would see the damn thing. It would be so big. So
it would probably block out the sun and be bad for the planet.
And well, that's another thing. That's another weird thing. So now they're saying, so Elon came up with this plan. This is a kind of a weird thing. So it starts unfolding, and it unfolds to a point, and it blocks out the sun. It kind of moves. So you don't have to have it canvas the whole area where the sun is. Just, put it a little closer to the sun and move it along with the sun, and it'll keep those parts of the Earth cool. It'll bring down the temperature quite a bit. But more so than that, if you use solar arrays, it's charging the living shit out of them. So not only is it bringing the temperatures down on the planet, it's sending energy as well. Now, while we're on that, before we get into anything else, 3 new scientists have come out and said that there's for sure signs of the next ice age. He said now that they've been looking at everything and the way the warming is trending, I forgot how long he said, but it would be X amount of years when we would see the reversal and we would start cooling. Because Jack, what happens is the atmosphere gets so thick, it blots out any radiation from the sun, and the planet begins to freeze. That's what happens, my friend. Well, once it gets, see, that's the thing. You always hear all these scientists talk about this gloom and doom and how it's going to boil the planet, but that's never going to happen, because once it triggers enough in the atmosphere, it triggers an ice age. See, they act like this shit hasn't happened before. That's what irks me when I hear people talk about climate change. That's why it's called climate change, because the climate changes, and it has been changing for the entire 1.5 billion, 2 billion years. There's been a climate on this planet, and I don't think it's going to stop just because we live here. Just giving y'all a heads up. But anyway,
it's a Friday show topic, but
it is.
Global warming is a natural thing of the planet, and these fools out here that want to try to stop it or fix it or change it, do it on another planet first and see if you're successful. If you do it here and it's not successful, you'll kill every one of us, including your pets and everybody. We'll all die if we do it wrong. It's pointless to try to mess with Mother Nature, period.
So Gene, on this Friday show, what I'll do for y'all is I'll break down what it costs to produce windmills, how long they last, what kind of energy we get out of them, electric cars, the whole 9 yards, what it costs to make lithium batteries, what it costs to produce electric cars, how fast can we produce them, what is their effect on the economy and on the environment versus gas. So we'll get into all that. And there's also some new stuff out about petrol fuels and all. That is actually some pretty interesting stuff as well. But it's none of that is for today, guys. Sorry. Don't forget
aliens, though.
Yeah,
aliens. Your question was, what do we know? Well, I've been collecting data over more than 40 years, and it's all solid data, but none of it is concrete, but it is all corroborated. So,
see, I have concrete data right there. Bob, y'all want some DNA?
Yeah.
$2.2 million a milligram. Come on by.
Uncle Bob.
You can only take 5 milligrams at a time, so that's $12 million. So money check has to clear the bank first, my friend. Sorry, I'm not a real trusting kind of person here.
And that take about a week for a check that big.
So once it's cleared, you can come by and bring your little thingy, get your stuff out, go home, and let me know what kind of alien he is.
My God, the aliens, they're made of plaster of Paris. Who would have known?
No, he was before all of that. Yes. So what is he actually is the thing. Yes. What is he made out of? Asbestos. Jenny said asbestos. No, he's not.
But still, in collusion with your question, what do we really know? I mean, everyone says there's the Galactic Federation.
We know that
somewhere around 5 races on this planet most of the time, and another 4 or 5 that come in and out, vacation like, I guess.
Well, I don't. It's hard because I kind of like dealing in absolutes when it comes to aliens. So for me, I give the Greys, reptilians, and humans, and the light beings props because they're the most talked about and seem to have been here the longest and involved the longest. Then there's some other weird things. The tall whites, no one actually knows when they got here. There's no data before Charles Hall.
Yeah.
So when did they actually get here? Nobody knows, and
nobody's been no data coming in since he left the military, so we don't know if they're even still here.
Well, there's been some people out of Vegas now that people know about them that supposedly have reported seeing. There's even a couple of pictures that have surfaced, but I noticed those get scrubbed as soon as they hit the net. I had seen 2 of them, tall whites. Says tall whites coming out of MGM Grand, and they looked 9 foot tall at least, 8 to 9 foot. Beautiful picture. I went back looking for it because I wanted to send it to somebody. Never could find it. Don't know what the hell happened. I looked and looked and looked. I even did dark web search just in case it got pulled, because sometimes you can find stuff on the dark that you can't find. No, what's that, Brenda? No, don't surf the dark web unless you have serious security on your computer. No, or get a computer that you don't care about, and that channel for your internet.
And you type in pictures of tall whites leaving MGM Grand and get pictures of these AI aliens, and then everything else is about the Grand Fire about 40 years ago. Yeah, they're scrubbed. They're not.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't. Nothing stays anymore. It's stuff like that goes, and then because it's easier now, because whoever over at the CIA picks up the phone, calls over to Google, says, "Hey." Google calls down to the people. They say, "Hey, look for this." 5 minutes later, everything's gone.
I don't even think it's that difficult. I think what it is now. Think about this: the DARPA ARPANET, they started what would become email. They basically, the U.S. government through special access programs built the internet from the ground up. So they must have even back then realized that sometimes this stuff's going to come out. So I'll bet I would not be surprised if every photograph that's ever been put on, there's metadata on there that as soon as that metadata hits the net, it's flagged at NSA headquarters or some, top secret room that says, boom, get this off the internet. I would not be surprised at that because there's so many things that have happened that just, they're gone within minutes sometimes.
Well, but see, sometimes we get lucky, like some of the STS missions.
Yes.
Like the original one, the one they started scrubbing, the one where they added the 7-minute delay was because of a particular mission. And because it was so well, it got so famous and so well known, they decided to add a time delay to all the after that. But
yeah, I think it was an 8-minute delay.
Yeah, it's a decent little delay. It's enough time to move stuff around, edit shit.
For example, audience, when on live television programming, like for instance Saturday Night Live, it's usually broadcast on an 8 to 10 second delay. So there's some guy sitting there watching the show, and if somebody goes bleep bleep, he can go bleep bleep and get it before it goes on air. That's how much time they give those guys. So 8 minutes is
that's because you got things like the Apollo astronauts going on and on about Santa Claus and the reindeers flying around the spaceship and looking at them and stuff, and reindeer. That was just Santa Claus was a code for UFO.
And I think also in the later 70s missions, one of the Apollo missions, 10, 11, I don't know which one, anomalous objects flying around the spacecraft were called vacuums. We got a vacuum. There's a vacuum out the window.
Yeah, well, let's look at it from a
Who'd
different
think
point.
there's a vacuum
Hey, Lee, what you doing, sweetie? How you
floating around
feeling?
in outer space?
We got the Crip
Hello.
in the room. What's up, Crip?
Hi.
So, are you not going to kick anybody anymore now? You've done. You're done with kicking.
I didn't kick anybody. I did put
Uh,
someone in a headlock though.
See, headlock kicking. You got to watch her all the time.
But
She's
it
such a
was
violent.
because my phone got snatched out of my hands.
Wow.
And I went to grab it and I was getting pushed away from having my phone. And so I put the person in a headlock and they fell on top of me and my foot bent the wrong way.
Oh my God. We got to put you through abuse training, girl. You got to stop abusing people.
Or no.
What happens when you?
No. We sent her to her favorite NFL football team's summer camp so she can learn how to tackle a person properly without getting hurt.
Right, without getting hurt. Yeah.
I didn't do any tackling. Honestly, I wasn't trying to put anyone in a headlock, by the way. It wasn't intentional. I was just trying to reach for my phone that was being kept from me in someone's back pocket. And so I was reaching for my phone and trying to be like I was trying to be like maneuverable around. I was reaching around the head and the arm, and before you knew it, because I was being pushed away, I had the head under my armpit kind of deal. And then I just grabbed a hold of the head instead of my phone. And then the person put all of their weight, dead weight, into falling on top of me to try and release themselves from the headlock.
See violence. See what happens when you're violent. Y'all, people, young ladies and young gentlemen out there, you see what happens when you're violent. You get beat up. She beat somebody up, man. I'm telling you what. She's bad. Anyway, where the hell were we? I got off track.
Yeah. So we were on aliens. We were trying to figure out the tall whites and that kind of thing. Where did all the data when did they get here? How was that data scrubbed?
Because you still find some information about the tall whites. But it's like the sunken city off the coast.
Let me see what Bibliotheca Pleiades says. They might have something on it.
Well, I remember when the sunken city off the coast of Cuba came out, and it was all over everywhere. And then all of a sudden, no matter what you did, you could not find it. And then I remembered I had a couple of pictures and a couple other things, so I republished them, and then a few other people republished them. So now what happens is everybody has started taking stuff and keeping it on their computers. That way they can republish them. Eventually, Googling them, leave them alone. Eventually, but you got to keep doing it. And plus that, it usually starts getting on other servers, other company search engines, and those companies leave it there. So it takes time, though, people. I mean, Google and Yahoo, Google just is basically a government agent is what Google is. X used to be, but now that Elon owns it, it's not.
Well, didn't like something about like Israel buy Google?
Not that I know of.
Or somebody
China
from
was trying to, but we said no. And then I still ain't heard of TikTok's being sold. It's
I'm still trying to figure out how to opt out of all of the AI, opt out of all of the data like sharing, automatic AI algorithm kind of stuff.
You can't. What are you talking about? You can't. If you use any social media, you can. It's part of the contract. They can use it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just part of the contract. Almost everything now, it's part of the contract. If you want to use,
I know you can't download an app without sacrificing your data to someone.
Yeah. Now, if it's paid for, you can, because they have to do it differently. But if you're getting something for free, no, they can. And they usually somewhere in there it says we're allowed to share your data.
So what about like public services when it's like, hey, you can pay your utility bills online, but all you have to do is set up an account and give us all of like your personal information to set up this account.
Yeah, but even if you go in to pay them, you still got to set up, give them all your information set up. That's nothing new though. But anyway, you get me off the alien. Stop. We're talking about aliens.
Okay,
Save that for Friday. Come talk about it on Friday with us. What's
Fridays
that?
are hard.
Yes, it's. I know it's hard. What's it? No, ETs. So when you like with the tall whites, they're just a handful of people that talk about them out at Area 53. Area 53. So if you're looking at from above Vegas, if you're looking at like above Area 51, if you look to it would be to the east, almost directly east, you'll find Area 53. It actually borders 51. Yeah. So does 52 for that matter. The whole area belongs to the government. Yeah, all of that does. All that's all interconnected. That's in case something falls out of the sky. They don't have to worry about some stranger like Leo walking up on it and trying to jump in it or something. Leo be trying to fly
I
the damn.
so would. I'd be
She
like,
would.
please take me away from here.
She'd be out here trying to fly off in the damn thing. Well, it might not be alien. It might be a damn, cousin of the X-47 or something. That damn thing looks like an alien
I know
craft.
that a lot of these tall whites are described as being like human-like, like tall, thin, but they have hair and they have blue eyes and they look human, other than the fact that they kind of don't at the same time. Like they have like bigger shaped eyes or something. But then someone told me that that's not accurate. Like that's not
There's
actually
two
what the tall
different
whites were.
species. So there's two different species of tall whites.
Like
There's
one is completely hairless.
actually, it's technically, if you want to get technical about this, three, but there's Charles Hall's tall whites, who the best way I could describe them, if you've ever seen what was that, the TV movie Arrival, the alien in that, they look like it's body down, looks a lot like that. They got those kind of feet. They're like hoof kind of looking feet things. Their knees bend forward instead of backwards instead of forward, or forwards instead of backwards. Their design's different. Their face, they don't have any hair. They have a smooth head with eyes about twice the size of ours. Then there's what they call the human aliens, which are, as far as I know, I've never heard any other color but white. And they do have hair, blonde hair, brown hair. They have colored eyes. Not the same color their eyes. And when they talk about blue, it's not a blue you've ever seen on Earth before. It's not in our blue scale. So you can tell when you see one, it's not from here. As soon as you look into its eyes, you know it ain't from around here.
I forget her name.
And then they're taller than us. They look a lot like us, except their heads are just this way. They're longer. They go backwards further. They're about this much longer than our head is. So all it gets, our head's built like this, their head's built like this. And you can see that in the Egyptian pharaohs and in some of the ones from Samaria, and even some of the ones in South America were making their kids' skulls like that. So, there's lots of evidence that they were here.
Yeah, what I was able to look up on Bibliotheca Pleiades real quickly, there doesn't seem to be any kind of time frame as to when they first arrived. We don't really have so much that with the other races so much either, but these guys are kind of new to the scene. But according to the knowledge they're only, I think, 36 light years from us is where their home planet is.
Well, that's interesting you said that, because a couple times when I was listening to Charles, I got the distinct feeling that the reason they were here is we were a cooling off spot for their FTL. Which means
like a waypoint, yes.
Yeah, so that means their homeworld would be quite a distance from here. And I don't even know if this was the first wave point between us and them. He made it sound like that they came a good distance to get here, and then they had a good distance to go. And at some points, he even made it sound like they were going to be jumping to the edge of the spiral arm, not our spiral arm, but the outer spiral arm, the very furthest one out.
Did you guys hear that? There's a theory that the Earth, or that our solar system, no, it's either our Earth or our entire solar system is in a dark void where there's like no, like, it's just like a blank spot in space.
not a blank spot. We've got two spiral arms, the Sagittarian and the Orion arms, and we're in the middle between my two fingers.
No, we're a little closer to the top one than the bottom one, but
yeah, we're closer to one side than the other. But it's basically like it's like
we're
going
nowhere
out
land.
farmland. It's like there's one house every 20 miles away.
We're in the boondocks is where we are.
Yeah,
but
amidst a whole bunch of little big red dots.
But on a side note, Leah, there is a thing saying that our universe is inside on the edge of a black hole, or actually it would be called a white hole because it would be on the other side. But we're actually inside of it. We're living on the event horizon on the other side. That's where our entire universe exists at. And they said they can prove it. So it's been an interesting read. I'll tell you that much. So just think about that. That means every universe would be living in a bubble of a black hole.
It seems that's the mechanic, and it also, I believe, the gentleman's name was Shapley, who came up with that idea in the 50s or 60s because it was part of the Star Trek universe. They actually speak about it in one of the episodes. They talk about Shapley's center of the universe or Shapley's center of the galaxy, but they don't say that it's a black hole on Star Trek. They just mention Shapley's name.
Well, they're actually saying that this whole bubble universe is actually inside the black hole. Just like any other piece of stuff that would be inside of a black hole, that's us. We're inside the black hole looking out.
Oh.
So.
But I would consider that a white hole because a black hole you couldn't see because light can't escape.
Yeah,
so,
we would be on the quasar side of it. The speculation is that quasars. So you have your black hole, and you have your white hole. So this is. Black hole, no light gets out. White hole, it's spewing out nothing but light.
When did the spaghettification happen?
The what?
The spaghettification.
I don't know what a spaghettification is, but I do like spaghetti.
It's like, do you know, Joe?
Go ahead, explain it to me. I've heard of it before. Yeah, I was just laughing when he said about spaghetti. But go ahead, finish what you were saying, girl.
Do you know what spaghettification is?
I have no clue.
Look it up. It's when you go through a black hole and you're stretched so like.
Yeah. Okay. String theory.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, string theory is a whole nother topic, but it's
In astrophysics, spaghettification is the tidal effect caused by strong gravitational fields. They're not fields, they're waves when falling towards a black hole. For example, an object is stretched in the direction of the black hole and compressed perpendicular to it as it falls. So it sounds like not only do you get stretched, but you get squished and you get thinner and longer. And
so when does that part happen, or did it already if we're inside of a black hole?
Yeah, well, we'll be on the other side of it. It means we're already
on the other side.
Through.
We already come through.
Yeah, we've already passed.
So this is the end result. We're experiencing the end result of a black hole experience.
So what they're really trying to say is all the stuff that a black hole eats eventually is compressed into
fits out the other end through a tunnel. Yeah.
And it becomes a universe like ours, and it's like the mother of the universe. It's like the womb of the universe, may be a better way of saying it. See, we always think of the universe so big and grand, but in the grand scheme of everything, it isn't. It's very small compared to what's out there.
Right.
So multiverse.
Like, there's multiple universes. There's trillions of universes.
So that means the space they fit in has to be huge. So
right.
Oh, Jack, the multiverse. So you got dimensions, and the multiverse and dimensional things are not exactly the same. So you can have each dimension, each multiverse can have its own set of dimensions
and its own set of rules. I mean,
its own set of rules.
We don't know all the rules. There are craft flying through our atmosphere, doing things against everything our physics says that we cannot do.
That's right.
Period.
Do you think that there's some type of like confinement system that keeps us from actually I don't know, if other species have figured out a way to faster than light travel and use wormholes and things like that, like,
because they're cheating.
wouldn't we have also?
Wait, what? What we have? What? What did I miss here?
Like wormhole travel and faster than light travel.
We don't have that kind of technology. We're too stupid for that.
We allegedly don't. Yeah. Although the White House recently did claim that they have access to time travel technology, which indicates they have some sort of FTL drive, because it is a speculation through almost every science fiction television show and movie ever created that if you have a time warp engine, well, that's exactly what it means. You can warp time. You can exit the time space continuum as we know it, as where we are now, this physical realm. You can exit it completely, travel God knows how many distances in seconds, and then reappear back into this physical universe. And you can choose any point in time. It can be the same time as you left your old place, or site A, and site B could be back in the past, in the future, or an hour before you actually left. So you can actually get to your location an hour before you left your home location. So,
but that's time travel. That's like within this within this singular reality.
But it's not just time travel, Leah. It's dimensional travel. What are the 4 dimensions? Time is one of them. It's a dimension. It's one of the 11 dimensions that we know of.
So if theoretically, if I wanted to, I could figure out how to create a travel experience that could get me to a completely different universe.
Possibly,
like completely.
Yeah.
No, actually, in your case, that's not really true. What would actually happen is, because you'd have to have some kind of mechanical device or some type of something that could cut through the multiverse and into the dimension to actually physically do that. So, but more than likely, what would happen is, if you could time travel and you can go back and change something, then you can create either a pocket universe or just create a new timeline altogether. The timeline jumps. Like if you chose a specific thing in your life back when you were 18, 17, 20, like if you decided, if you didn't get pregnant with Liam or something, different
If I would have stayed in the Marine Corps.
If you would have stayed in the Marine Corps, all of those things have profound differences in the way your life pans out. So at any of those points, you could have went back and told yourself, look, you dumb bitch, this is what you're going to do, and this is why you're going to do it, and I'll see you in the future. And then when you're back, you're like, wow, it worked. But then, does it change anything else around you? You know, not everybody on the planet is important enough to destroy the planet if they make a boo-boo. I'm sure there are people that can do that. I don't think, but still. But you could go back and do that. So then you would have created a new timeline. The old timeline would no longer exist for anybody. Your little bitty self, for you, would have just wiped out billions and trillions and quadrupled billions of beings across the cosmos so that you could have a better life. Shame on you, Leah. Just shame on you.
Really?
That's going to be some really bad karma, man. Damn. Yeah, because you don't know how it's going to affect any of those, but it creates a new timeline. So you don't know what the new timeline is going to be until it's solidified.
Okay, so maybe that explains why I'm just okay with. Maybe that explains why I'm okay with just suffering through all of the consequences of my actions of this life so far.
Yes. Well, yeah. What's that, Chris? Yeah, I hate that expression, live and learn. I always want to slap somebody when they tell me that. I'm like, you live and learn it. Yeah. Don't know. I can't curse on this show, so don't get me started. But ET loves all of us. They think we taste good and we smell good, especially with a little rosemary and azure. Yeah, No, they don't like fat people. They say they're too high in cholesterol.
I'm fat.
So, well, you have a little bit of fat now. That's good. That brings taste. But if you got too much, they don't want to have nothing to do with you. Says it makes their cholesterol high. Jeffrey's like, no, you lied to me. Yeah, because you're like 80 pounds. That's why, man. Oh, no.
So,
yeah.
I have a question about the tall whites. So, if they're still using this as a waypoint, there's got to be a way that a lot of us researchers could go to Vegas and be there, have enough presence there. I mean, there's enough researchers out there that we can have enough presence there year in, year out, monitoring most, if not all, of the casinos front and back
Hey, Heidi.
entrances, and get an actual clear photograph of visitors from another planet.
Well, so
why Vegas?
Because this is one particular alien we're talking about.
One race,
Charles saw a long time ago. It talked about these aliens, and the government used to bring them to Vegas to entertain them, and still do from what the stories are. They still bring them down there. They dress them up and put them in, Holocaust clothes and stuff like that, hooded coats, and put sunglasses on and shoes on and dress them up, put gloves on them and bring them out to the casino. And there's been state troopers that have come forward talking about seeing them. There's been taxi cab drivers, limousine drivers. So in the early days, they said they used to bring them out in military vehicles, and then all of a sudden they started going out and they would pull up in super stretch limos and stuff. And these things are tall. Even the short ones are like 7'4", 7'5",
6 to 7 feet tall for anyone under 400 years old. And if they're over 400 years old, they go through an
and by the way,
growth stage where they're 9 to 11 feet tall.
And under 400 years is still considered basically an adolescent teenager.
Or babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar. And I don't know if Gene Roddenberry was given the inside skinny on these people, the tall whites, but the race Vulcans in the Star Trek timeline aged also differently than humans. So Spock, when he's on the Enterprise, is like 70 years old, but in human years he's like 35, I think, like half. They live twice our lifespan. So an adolescent Vulcan might appear as a 10 or 11-year-old, but they're like 17, 18, 19, 20 years old.
That ties into what I think. Well, I don't know, when it comes to like the ages in the Bible, I really feel like maybe when they said 400 years old or 700 years old, the timing was just like the way that they calculated time was just different back then. So it could have just been like a 50-year-old man, according to our standards in this day and age, but back then they considered a 50-year-old man to be 500 years old.
So they used to mark the things by the mother's name. So let's say her last name was Mark or whatever it happens to be. Well, all of her children, all the boys are going to be named that last name. Well, a lot of times the sons are named after the father. So it can appear that one man like Moses or anybody else could have lived, hundreds of years. And not actually just been. It could have just been the father, the grandson, the great grandson.
That doesn't explain the King's List, which has mythological and historical, real.
But if it's the exact same name, you would not know. There's no first or second or junior or senior.
That's
just
true.
The name.
Well, there's
and
also
they've shown that
put a 1 or 2 or 3 after the name. But
no, actually, they were showing these. Especially deep in the Middle East and what used to be the Pakistan region, not Pakistan, but the region where Israel and all was. They showed the way they did it. They would just sometimes it would be 3 sons with the father's name. No first, second, or third, just in line. They just knew who the oldest was, and that was who was going to be the next in charge. But they had the exact, I think they did it on purpose so that later on when they were switching leaderships with all the Arab tribes out there, that, once you built up a reputation, you heard the name, that's what you thought. I think that's the reason they did it, but I don't know. None of us were alive back then.
On some of these singular names. Now, there's certain kings we know that were real beings, and they lived, thousands of years, 800 years, 900 years, 1,000 years. And most researchers have said that it was because of their system of math that we just don't know what math they were using, so we can't translate it. Well, I call bullhockery on that.
There's bullhockery on that because they counted by the orbit of the sun. I mean, that's
the same
bullshit.
methods we use today, whether it's the moon or the sun. There's
but you would not know. You would not know because when you start looking at those kings, you don't see the list of their sons because they are the list of their sons. That's the problem. So usually when you see a king, you see his children. Like if you look in Europe or other places like that, you see the children, but a lot of times in the Middle East, you do not, especially if they belong to tribes and stuff. They don't show that. They only show the father's name. A lot of times they don't only show the mother's last name. Don't ask me why. We didn't live there, and I couldn't tell you why. So I'd be lying if I even tried to tell you.
It's bizarre.
I just, to me, it was just the way, Well, what do you mean, Jenny? We used to put leashes on people to bleed them to make them feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we weren't exactly the smartest people on the planet. I mean, we had some good times, some good bad times, but some things were just dumb.
And even before leeches, and probably also during and after leeches, they did bloodletting, and sometimes to the point, and it's just they would open up a vein and let you bleed for 30 seconds or whatever. But there were times when they would let it go too long, and then they didn't staunch the blood quickly enough, and you lose too much and you die.
Yep. You'd be like, hey man, I feel really lightheaded. I'm feeling really good. Yeah, because you're dying, dumbass. But anyway, on that note, we got to go to break right quick. We're gonna play a little Christmas music. We'll be back. Short break, 3.5 minutes. We got a lot of ET to get through in the next hour and 5 minutes or so. So check out, listen to the music. There might be a promo. There might not be a promo. I don't know. What's that? Ronnie said he wants the videotape of Leah knocking out her boyfriend. What are you talking? Oh, you mean from the conversation we were having earlier? Oh, okay. I was wondering what you were talking about. We'll talk about it when we come back. Anyway, guys, we got to take a break real quick. Like I said,
I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, she's a pacifist. All right. I could tell y'all some secrets, man. Anyway, but unfortunately, I don't tell people secrets. We're going to play this. We'll be back in a few minutes. Or enjoy the music.
They spelled Carol wrong. It's supposed to have an E on it.
Dun, dun. Did they?
Yeah, it's supposed to have an E on it. Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm playing the bells, people. All right, give me some bells for this song. What the bleep?
Uh-oh, did something bleeping happen?
That's what I said. What the bleep went bleeping? Which you mean what the bleep went bleeping? Sometimes something bleeping gets bleeping. I can't make it not bleep if it don't want to bleep. I mean, love songs. You want to hear a love song? Like, who are you in love with? Leah's married with like 8 kids, man.
How many?
8.
Eight children, and you have the harem of men of what, 15 now?
It's
She didn't eat this morning.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can handle all that. I'm starting to appreciate solitude the older I get. Did you guys know I turned 40?
No, you did not. You were only 38 just last year.
Well, happy
No,
birthday,
I'm 40
youngster.
now.
Well,
Thank
happy
you.
birthday. I didn't know you turned birthday, but I didn't know how old, and it's not really proper to ask, but thank you for telling us.
Yeah. I got a sprained ankle for my birthday.
Yeah, sprained ankle, girl. See, it's what
Sprained
happens
is better than
when
broken, though.
True.
love
It,
comes to
you
somebody
know, the
out there.
doctor said it might as well be.
Oh, yeah. Now there's a good song.
Okay, this is by request. I ain't heard this song since I was like 30, man.
So I finally went to Allstate. It was so easy to switch.
Show yourself to me. Let me
Whoa, welcome back, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed those two songs. The first one was Desperado by the Eagles. Eagles, Mike. No, they're not from Australia. Who said that? No. No, they're just, Desperado by the Eagles. Yeah, somebody
Wasn't there a
played
song
that for
before
me.
that?
No, there was one after that, though. There was Show Yourself.
Was that
yeah,
you, Joe? Were you the vocalist of that song?
Well, you think I can sing that? Well, thank you, but no, it's not me.
Oh.
So both the songs for this show, which is that one and the one before, the Six Gun Joe, was written by someone else, by Ian Punnett, and performed by him. Or what's his last name? I might have got his name wrong. I think Ian Punnett's the guy from Coast to Coast. Sorry. And the other one was done by a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a long time, David, who was a good friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, Dee Andrews' husband, David. David Vasey. I haven't Dave Vasey. No, I said David Vasey. I lied. Dave Vasey's my brother, actually. No, I haven't talked to him. And the sad part is he had sent me some information on him, and I went to go call him. I don't know, how computers are. And well, when stuff gets sent to Instagram and Facebook, sometimes it just disappears. No telling where's it at. It's well, it's not like I only got one Facebook page. I've got a few of them, I'm not like a normal person who has one page or even 2 or 3 pages. No. I have 44 of the bitches. Yes. Yeah. 44 social media pages. Yes. So one of the classes I teach, or one of the courses I teach when I'm out in LA for Right of the Future for the awards, one of the things, the very last day of the day, I give a little small lecture on how to deal with press in general, especially bad press, and also how to deal with social media. They have two different people there to give advice on social media and how you should do it and what can make it successful. Yes. Oh yeah, John, it's fun to listen to you. None of that stuff you can get. We're not allowed to any of the classes that go on. We're not allowed to reproduce for use. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. We can interview everybody, the instructors, which are award-winning authors and illustrators, the winners, the staff, everybody. But what goes on in the classroom stays in the classroom. Yeah, because it's valuable. Well, you have Tim Powers, who is the guy who wrote A Stranger Tide, which, of course, is what all the Caribbean movies are based off of. Yeah, you had to sue him forever to get that money. And Orson Scott Card did Ender's Game. He's also one of the teachers there. Yeah. Tim McCraffy's there, which is Anne McCraffy's son, she had a whole list of works. So did he, for that matter. You've got Dean Wesley Smith, who not is a prolific author, but he has his own little mini publishing empire. So he can teach you how to self-publish or indie publish. Yes, I mean, there's just so much information there. Well, both the Dune writers for Dune are actually judges for this. Kevin J. Anderson is there on a regular basis. He'll be there this year. Matter of fact, one of his books is sitting right there. It's a X-Files book. Well, for some reason, I'm bad about getting Rob Sawyer and Kevin J. Anderson confused. I don't know why. It's a Freudian thing on my part.
Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert continued. His father, Brian Herbert's the son of Frank Herbert, who wrote the first Dune series, and the two of them, they have expanded it. They both went pre and post the time frame of the Dune books, so they got prequels and sequels. It's fantastic. They did some really fantastic. I mean, it's like 12 or 15 books now. I think it's a lot.
They're looking for extras in Dune 3.
Yeah.
I wonder if I show up my lightsaber, how they would feel about it. Put on my Holocaust coat and pull out. I'm ready. They'd be like, the wrong movie there, huh, bud? No, we're going to introduce a new weapon into it.
Yeah, I could show up and pull off my Holocaust cloak and looking like Panthro from the Thundercats, swinging nunchucks at everybody.
I know, huh? No, Jeffrey. Well, no. What? So I got to see the original, the debut of the first Dune of the new series in Los Angeles. I was there with Writers of the Future, and they for the winners for the illustrator and author winners got the preview. They were the very first people to see it outside the studio. So we all got to watch, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. Dune 2, I like the actors. I think they're doing a fine job. There wasn't enough just wasn't enough magic in it for me.
Yeah, and they put Timothy Chalamet, God bless him, probably wasn't his idea. They made him kind of goth emo. You know, he was a lot angrier than his character in the books or the first movie.
Yeah,
I mean, in the books, he's angry. I mean, the Baron Harkonnen kills his father, and Daemir kills him, and so I mean, he's got right to be angry, but he's not like he's not a goth emo, boo-hoo hissy kid.
But Jesse, one of my favorite scenes is when Paul looks down and a guy splits in half, man.
That would be the character played by Sting, Faith Rautha. And the thing about that is that's not in the book.
No, that's not in the book. There's a couple of things in the first movie that's not in the book.
Right. Well, the first movie was, I think, improved because if you read the book, it's basically like he's got it right. It's basically kung fu in the desert with Mid-Eastern Mediterranean type people swarming their desert cities to take control of their planet. And it just wouldn't work. You can't take a non-technological society like the Fremen of the book and throw them against the highest technological beings in the universe and expect them to win. So David Lynch gave them the weirding modules to balance the power. So you have two technological forces with the same amount of capability, and the device was designed to channel thoughts, motions, and vocalizations, certain words, into energy that would become a destructive beam. And with that beam, they could, as Paul says, you can set fires, break bones, suffocate your enemy, or burst his organs. So with that in mind, Paul trains all the Fremen to use this device, and then at the end of the movie, he no longer needs the device to channel his thoughts and minds and voice into an energy weapon. He becomes that, and he goes, and he says one of the command words from the weapon at the dead body of Fate Rautha, and he splits open like a balloon.
It was one of the things. Well, no, Gene. So I was just with the second, and we'll see when the third comes out. Well, I'll see these guys in a few months out in LA. Of course, I'm going to ask them. I harass them all the time. Well, no, they know. They already know I'm a Dune fan. It's not like they don't know I'm a Dune fan. No, they already know. No, Dune doesn't really offer a bunch of extraterrestrials in it. Even the space guys of the guild people are all human. Yeah, they may have mutated, but they still came from humans. It's everybody's human. It's just big, huge empire, but spanning all over the place, but still just humans. That's before we realized we weren't alone out there in the galaxy. Long live the extraterrestrials. Trump wishes he was an ET because then he could be on a 36-hour day and kill all of us. Yeah, because he'd wear us all out. That's what would happen there. So, what do you mean, Gene? So with the tall whites, it's just what they are. I mean, they just seem to be what they are, a race that somehow cut a deal with the government for a place to hang out while they're hopping between places they're hopping. You can't even get them to say where they're hopping to. Even the government doesn't actually seem to know. The government just knows they come and go on regular intervals. It has something to do with the moon. Something to do with the phase of the moon. It makes it easier for them to hide themselves or something. But other than that, and what gets me is they don't even have true stealth like what the F-47 is going to have in it. I wonder if that's where we got that from.
Well, if you read Corso's book, we got so many things from them, from the devices that we've captured and or somehow were given. And we talk about this all the time. There are technologies they possess that we can't mimic and can't get around. But almost all of our technology they can get around. And you'd have to have that. It's like in Star Trek, they call it the duck blind. There's that one movie where they have the holographic rock face hiding the laboratory they have watching this primitive species. So that's got to be how it is. It's got to be something like that. It's either, you know, cameras all around the ship, and one camera, it's a camera and a projector at the same time. It projects what's above, below, and what's below, above. So when you're above the craft, you would see what's, you know, the ground, and when you're below the craft, you'd see the sky, and if you're on the side of it, you'd see the, you know, whatever's on the side, like, you know, the atmosphere.
So with the Gray's craft, they just reflect everything around them, right off the skin.
It's the gravitational waves bend the light for them. Yes.
No. They're just simply, if they're just sitting there, sitting in the sky, the skin itself, whatever atmosphere it's in, it doesn't matter where it's. It could be in the middle of in the forest. It would just reflect trees all around. It would just look like a stand of trees there. Everything that was there would look like it was there. The only way you wouldn't know it was there is if you walked up and bumped it, or something hit it and made a ripple in it.
Or
other than that, you can't tell.
Well, possibly if it moved against the background like that, it might be like the predator effect. You might
but
see
that's
like,
not,
you know,
that's not even
shimmering edges of it, you know?
Yeah, I was just giving that as an example because the Greys have seriously sophisticated technology, but Charles Hall specifically said the tall whites did not have that kind of technology. They had to use moon phases because their ships could be seen on radar. So they were using certain types of things, like when there was X amount of radiation in the air from the sun, and certain types of the moon where it actually physically hid the ship itself and its signature. So that just tells me that they're advanced, but how far? 100, 500, 1,000 years maybe? I don't think they're any more than that ahead of us. I don't think at the rate we're going that they're really that far ahead of us. I would, depending on how accurate Charles' descriptions is, currently I'd say they were about 300 years ahead of us. And
they're easily Star Trek, Star Wars level, and maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit more.
No,
but not by much, I don't think.
So no, because Star Wars and Star Trek both, they had cloaking devices, very powerful laser and phaser weapons, full tone torpedoes and shit like that. These guys are, when he talks about them, I get like, you know what they remind me of? Remember that stupid movie District 9?
Yeah.
Their ships remind me of their ships, which, don't get me wrong, were advanced craft. I don't want to take anything away from their craft, because, you know, aliens were a little goofy.
Well,
but
actually,
but the ships were pretty advanced.
Let me go back. I think I closed the window. Damn it! I did.
I think it was District 9.
Oh no, here maybe. Hang on. I think I might have a picture of the ship. Hang on. No, it wasn't this one. Let me go back to the other page.
What other movie could they be? Because it's not like they hold a huge crew or anything. I don't think their crew size is more than like 50, maybe 100. I don't even know if they're that big. Because the way he described, he said one of the things he talks about on one of the shows we did was walking in this cave where they had their ships parked. It was, you know, under a hangar, and he talked about there being 3 or 4 or 5 of them there, and he said he was a little like a little mini colony or a little mini port is what he called it. And he said there was probably no more than about 100 to 200 people, humans and aliens, milling around. He said, but there weren't very many humans. He said, you know, anytime there were kids present, the humans were never present. He said it was rare that more than 3 or 4 humans ever got to see their children. They had to pick you. The kids had to pick you, not the parents. I imagine they both had to pick you, but what's that, Stephanie? Because how can I say this? The tall whites were hypersensitive about their children. I mean, after all, we're aliens. You know, what kind of diseases do we have? I'm sure by now they realize there's nothing.
Here we
no
go.
Crossover diseases, but
looky what I found.
But they don't know we're a violent species. If you're watching our television, think about this. For most alien races, the first thing they're going to learn about humans are going to come from television. You really, really think they're going to come here not feeling a little bit worried? The hell's Jay got up here?
This is. I'm gonna blow it up a little.
Looks like an egg.
Yeah, this is an Arcturian or tall white ship, and here are the dimensions: 500 feet long, 300 feet wide, 70 feet high. So that can probably.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, okay, that's not the same people though.
This is Charles Hall's tall whites.
I don't know. That looks more like the ships that like the Arcturians drive, which are humans, basically.
This is also I think
Charles Hall. See, people get confused about this, but Charles Hall's tall whites look more like the aliens from the movie Arrival than they do like any other alien, except for the head itself. The rest of them looks almost identical to the alien in the movie Arrival. Their heads are different. They're just smoother. They don't have the flaps on the top of their head. They look a lot like them. And you know, but they're tall and they're white. You know, they're like Snow White. I mean, they're like white, like the paper white, right?
Yeah, chalk white is the description of the skin.
Yeah,
Chalk
so
white.
I mean that's what they are, but they don't have hair or any of that kind of stuff. The Arcturian aliens are supposed to be more human looking aliens, and that's what a lot of people call the extraterrestrial human aliens. They just put different names for some reason.
Well, I
one
think there's
race,
confusion
actually
there
several
because
one races. Go ahead.
Well, but
I'll finish.
the tall whites say that they come from the same system, Arcturus, where the Arcturians are from. So are they the same, or are they two different species from two
No,
different
Charles Hall
systems?
said they had nothing to do with them. They weren't the same species.
Well, maybe they're lying to him.
So wait, no, but this isn't that hard to figure out. Think about it this way. So travel backwards in time to Sumerians and all. When they're talking about these aliens, they're not talking about the aliens that are at Area 53. That's not who they're talking about. It's not who they're describing. It's not the types of technologies they're talking about. I mean, for us, the tall whites equivalent is click and switch technology. Some still connected to each other. That's neither the Greys, reptilians, or the human type aliens. Don't use that kind of technology. They're beyond that. They may still have click and switch in the reptilians and human aliens technologies, but there's nothing interconnecting them. It's all done by some type of wave or cross dimensions or something, but there's no physical wires anywhere. So, and in Charles Hall's aliens craft, there still is. So it's definitely not as advanced as them, and they're not really seen anywhere else on Earth but Area 53. They only seem to be there. All these other races we're talking about have been seen all over the damn planet. That's really how you can tell the differences. These were like just somebody. Maybe originally they crashed here, and they were here for a while, and the humans found them, and they contacted home, and somebody came and said, "Hey, look, they didn't eat us. Maybe we're friendly." I don't really know, because no one actually describes who put them there or how they actually got there. But
well, where did Spielberg get the idea for E.T., where the alien calls home and gets a ride back? It's some. I mean, we know Close Encounters was based on, I think, the Roswell incident, but I think E.T. is based on some other story he got. It was trickled down to him from the DoD, I would suppose, that an alien craft crashed and was guided or helped by humans, whether it's military or civilian. I don't know, but somehow they were able to contact. And no. I think that's the 1947 is allegedly they were able to contact the race of people that crashed in Roswell in 47, and then 10 to 13 years later their craft arrived with a replacement and they took the dead one away. It's something like that.
Well, here's a little twist for you. So Brennan Brom's assistant said that when they recovered the saucer from the Germans, one of the aliens was still present there, and they actually recovered one of the tall white aliens, the ones that Hitler describes that look like angels, which of course are with the tall whites. If you look at them, they think they're
it's when
anyway. So they actually talk about having them and still having them even today. So obviously they're not the ones that are out there, because we would have just turned him over along with the technology to them and just made a big new friend, but we didn't. Yeah. So there's something else going on there. It doesn't even look like those two even are aware of each other, or if they are, they don't really pay attention to each other, because there's been no warnings from the other three, stay away from these guys. And the ones Charles Hall said that they are aware that there's other races in the universe, but they're into their own thing. His words, not mine.
Well, but Charles Hall also stated that they his tall whites, anyways, carry a slender, almost pen-like weapon that's capable of several things. It can stun, kill, dematerialize things.
Like the one Gary 7 used.
Kind of, yeah.
I wouldn't say
Gary
100%, but yeah.
Gary 7's Astro Pen, yeah. And then it's capable of inflicting great pain, which they use frequently on humans at Area 53 who've annoyed them, scared them, or in some way to warn them not to do what they did again. So, there's there's a lot of parallel what we hear and see about the several races of aliens that we're all aware of.
Oh, Heidi, that's where I keep my harem. You don't want to go there. I'm sorry.
There are certain trickles of truth from what these aliens allegedly have, which our space aliens like Klingons and others have. Like, what is his name? John, I think it was John Lear who said this, and it's something to the effect that if you've seen it in a sci-fi TV show or movie, we have already done that, printed the T-shirt for it, and can do it all over again. Something to that effect. And then I forget his name, the guy who was the head of Skunk Works for the longest time, the guy behind most of our stealth technology. He said, we can already do it. Something to that effect, mostly regarding science fiction, Star Trek type technologies, and have been able to be doing it for a long time, like implicating that since 47 forward, we've had the capability to change life on this planet significantly for everyone, and they haven't done it.
It's gonna be interesting to watch how all this folds out over the more years. And Jimmy, it could take eons, decades, millennial.
It could be happening. It could be happening right now. If
it is happening right now, but it's always been.
Comes at us, we don't
That's
know.
the true problem with this. It's always been happening right now. Always. This was something that was started how many ever tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of years ago on this planet, and it's been steadily evolving along. That's why I always talk about the desensitization program, because without it, none of this can ever be fruitful. And everything that's going on, and this is the best part for me. Hosting Wake Up USA was great in the beginning. Of UFO Undercover was great because that's all 30 years ago, and I talked about all of this, like privatization of space and how much different it would be. Everything I said is actually came to pass in that. But not just that. I talked about the desensitization program because a good friend of mine, way up in the government, leaked something to me about, look, Joe, this is what's been going on since 1949, I think he said. And he went through the progression of how they've been doing it. This type of sci-fi, this type of sci-fi, this type of thing. This entered into the press. This entered into the television. These people talking about this, and this. These contactees doing this and this. And he went through a stage. And then I picked it up and I realized that it's way more than that. Look at all the just food with extraterrestrials pictures on it. One of the most popular things on television is sci-fi dealing with outer space and extraterrestrials. Look at 3-Eye Atlas, whether it's in the comet or not. We've been bonkers over it for the last 5 months. It's insane. So it's always something new, and it's always some kind of invasion coming to our planet, and this is how we beat them. It's rarely some aliens just
Falling Skies, TV show, for example,
and stuff like that. And then there's Stargate, and it's just anyway. There's so much of it. It's desensitizing us to the fact that there's life in the universe other than us. And I said what was going to happen.
There's also physical evidence too. If you go back the same amount of time frame, go back 125 years. Where were we 125 years ago in 1900? We were at the end, the closing decades of the steam engine, the steam age. We were coming into the gasoline age, and 1900 we didn't have we didn't have the internal combustion engine. We didn't have the engine that's in your car right now. Wasn't available in 1900. 1905, what do we have? The first car. 1904, we had the first plane. 1920, we have cars that go over 200 miles an hour. 1940, we have jets. 1960, we're on the moon. Somebody has been trickling down significantly higher technology tools and ideas to us since at least then, probably even further back, probably all of it.
Well, whatever it is, they can't directly interfere, so that's just on our part. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, short of us blowing ourselves up, our technology doubles every 2 to 4 years. It's just a matter of time. It's like AI, so crazy right now, but in 50 years, AI is not going to be. It's going to be something different. It'll have transformed into something different, unless we let it blow up in the world, and then it won't matter. But what's funny about AI? It's going to be wanting to protect itself too. And electronics don't do good with heat or radiation. They're actually technically, electronics are more fragile than we are. So, I don't think they want to blow themselves. They're blowing us up.
Unless they've been specifically hardened against electromagnetic pulses. Almost any kind of electronic device, including your computer, if it's on when the device is set off, it destroys the electronics. It'll never function again.
What's Jesse? Well, no, EMP will kill anything that's active. If it's off, it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt it. Once the wave goes by, you can start your car up and drive. But if your car is on when it hits it, it just it fries too many parts. It fries. Oh man, it fries a lot. It'll fry the alternator right off the bat. It'll fry if you got converters on it. It'll fry all of that. Any sensors, all that's gone.
The battery, you might have to redo. You might have to get a new battery. But you probably, if the electromagnetic pulse went off in my neighborhood right now, my car probably wouldn't start in the morning, and so I'd probably have to walk down to Walmart or AutoZone and get a 50-pound battery.
So anyway, what do you mean? Oh, you mean you're talking about my Harriman Arcturus? Well, they're reptilians. Yes, but they don't look like reptilians. When you see them, they look like these, gorgeous women, but they're not. They're actually reptilians. So you gotta be careful when you're talking to them. Yeah, they got their little star pin on with JoJo in it. We love JoJo. Yes, it's cool as hell. Just be careful around. They're very possessive. Yes, I'm just warning y'all. I'm just kidding. What's that, Clara? The human type aliens are different. See, and that's another thing. They don't even talk about Charles Hall's aliens as part of the council. It's almost like it's almost like they're not even aware of it, which
it's like they're solo operators.
But it's like, well, we've been told that there are races out there that don't necessarily want to be part of the galactic consciousness and the galactic council and shit. They want to be out on their own. Maybe the rules to be in part, it's like the UN, not all countries want to be part of the UN.
And not all countries can, even if they did.
Yeah. So, well, these guys, they when you listen to them talk about their technology, it's advanced, but it sounds like, because first off, we'll go back again. They have to stop to let their engines cool off, and not just for a couple hours, like a day at least. So that suggests that they're traveling long periods of time, or they're hopping for long periods of time, but they're doing something that superheats those engines that they need a day to cool off.
Or consumes fuel that they have to stop here and purchase from the U.S. military. So really the way he describes it, it's like a pit stop or a rest stop on the highway.
It's an FTL drive.
They pull over, they roll the windows up, leave the engine running, but turn off certain parts to cool down, and they sleep and they gamble. And apparently they have a basketball court.
Yeah, it's a port. It's like any little military port anywhere in the world. If you were traveling in the
got
US
a PX.
Navy, you get off, you got everything you need on the base, but then you can get off base and go out and meet the locals and hang out and stuff. It sounds like the same damn thing. It's and they're not like they've been here a long time now, so they're not like coming to invade our planet or anything. They seem to be fine with our government.
Well, they seem to have been doing it without our government's knowledge for a long, long time, and then all of a sudden now they're like.
Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing. So you don't hear any descriptions of these guys prior to Charles Hall in Las Vegas. We looked and looked and looked. We were just we figured somewhere along the line we'd bump into something, maybe a cop or something, maybe some crazy security guard. Avoid nothing. And so, well, they don't. And the other thing is they don't seem to be telepathic, or at least not to the extent the other races.
They are vocal. Their natural vocalizations have been described as murmurs, whisperings, birds chirping, and dogs barking or fighting.
Well,
they are able to mimic human speech to the point that over the telephone they could imitate one of your dead relatives, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
You would think it was them.
Charles Hall said that they gave them a universal translator to the government, and we have a universal translator now, pretty damn advanced one now. Damn thing's as advanced as the one on Star Trek.
Yeah,
I mean, you clip it to your ear. It speaks 148 languages. I mean, shit. And you can set it to where you can just take the other one and put on somebody else's ear and translate back and forth to each other. That's cool. That's a cool feature.
They would have to. Someone else would have to have the same device in their or similar device in their ear So when you speak your language to them, it translates to theirs, and then they speak their language to you, it translates to yours. That's the only way it would work.
Well, the pair I've got, you could make each one separate.
Yeah.
You can separate them. So I can give one to somebody and they can set it for whatever voice, whatever they want, and I can set it for whatever I want. So when I'm talking English, they're hearing whatever language they speak, and when they're talking, I'm hearing whatever language I speak. And I didn't know you could do it with the same pair. I thought I was going to have to buy a tooth pair and just keep an extra pair and give them to somebody. But a friend of mine said, "Yeah, I thought that too." And I went to go buy them. The guy said, "No, get these, and you won't have to do that." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Well, that's cool." It's not like you're going to use them much, but they're nice when you're traveling. What's really nice is like when you're going places where there's like DC. There's lots of people in DC that are not from DC, and they speak many languages there. Put the damn thing in your ear when you're walking around. You'll hear all kind of stuff you would not expect to hear because they're speaking a language that they don't think Americans understand, which they should be much careful now because with these new translators, everybody understands everything.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Jesse? No, you mean for those? Well, the first ones I got, I don't know if they did it or not. I never looked. They were like $20. They're fabulous. And but when my boy bought the other ones, he brought them by, and I was like, damn. And I like them too because they're a little soft in the middle, so you can stretch them around more, and they have a little clip thing for your ear so they don't slide. It's real soft and nice. I don't know where they are, but I'd show you next time. I'll throw them up on the desk. But they were under $100. I can tell you that they weren't that expensive. Honestly, I don't think they were more than 50. Yeah, and you can set it to each one. Well, one of the earphones has one extra controller than the other ones. I'm assuming that's so you can turn the feature on and off. I'm assuming. We'll find out next time I'm traveling. When I'm out in LA, I'll bring them with me. There's always. Oh yeah, you know what? The girl who was from the Ukraine last year, who was there. There was one girl from Romania, one girl from the Ukraine. And they had one pair, and they could sit there so other people could hear it. Yeah, so they were well, they could both speak broken English, but when you're at an award ceremony, you're trying to learn and listen to stuff. You need to be able to hear it fluently. They worked great. And today it's cheap technology. It's like the calculator. When the calculator first came out, it was $5,000. Now you can buy one in wallets. I mean, this size.
Yeah, but that first calculator was the size of a vacuum cleaner.
It was big. That's not technically. Those were adding machines. You can call them calculators you want, but they really were add machines.
Yeah, and you had to pull a lever to it, and it would print on a piece of paper. Yeah, it's a calculating device, not a calculator.
Yeah, so
we're talking digital screen. Type in a number.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, John. I'm not sure if Charles Hall's tall whites were actually. One, I don't know if they're members of the council. I really don't think they are. From what I understand, I just don't think they are. And I don't think they're really aware of the Greys, reptilians, and humans. Or if they are, I don't think they really care.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they did. And it also seems like when you listen to contactees talk about where different aliens come from, these guys seem to be going mostly in the opposite direction of where these other 3 or 4 races are coming from. Christopher, you're talking about the light beams. All they say about the light beams is they came from a different galaxy. Now, by saying this, Jay and I actually I've discussed this with a lot of people. So originally everybody thought, okay, they came from another galaxy deep far out in space. And they crossed through the blackness of space. We found out a long time ago that guess what? The Milky Way is eating other galaxies. At least 5 of them right now it's consuming, including the Sagittarius galaxy, which means these light beams could have came from any one of them. Now, the Greys say that they came from a dying or dead galaxy. That's why they left. The whole entire galaxy was dying. Nobody ever says why.
Well, being eaten by another galaxy would be killing another galaxy. So,
well, that's true too. But regardless, that's how they ended up here. And it was a long time ago, like 2 million years ago. It might have been longer than that. It might have been 200 million years ago. It's hard to say. They don't chart time the way we do. Because we have only this much time, and they've got like oodles and boodles of time. So.
They're long lived. A and B. They have devices that defy time and space and distance and all that. So having one, I would imagine within 20 years, if you owned one of those type of time warp devices, time would be different to you as well. You would perceive time way differently, and it wouldn't. With the time device, you'll never be late. You can always be early, or you can be 5 minutes late. You can always be there on the time you want to be there.
Time travel is not meant for everyday humans, my friend. They'll F it up for sure.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about extinction level event? How about universe extinction level event? That's what humans would do with time travel.
Oh, you mean when we were talking about the universe? That's just look it up. Just universe existing in a black hole. Actually, there's been a lot of new scientific work done on this because scientists get bored and they need to find something exciting to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? It doesn't mean jack to me because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't change not even anything in my little bitty tiny existence. Unless the black hole burps and spits us out.
Right.
As its baby, and that just puts us out there with the rest of the galaxies.
And even if we didn't get, you got the full answer, the actual correct answer of why, whatever you want to know the answer to why. If we did get it, it's interesting. And then next week, something else will come along. And you go, oh, that's cool. Don't forget about it.
We know the answer for everything in the universe. It's 42. Yeah, it's the number 42. That's what whatever his name was, Great Think or whatever the hell it was called, said. From which way he's wearing the towel all the time.
Which what?
Oh, yeah, what's the damn name of it? The damn stupid movie. I can't remember it now. Yeah, he's jumping around. He saves the guy on Earth, and they always got towels around their necks, and they're traveling around through the
monkeys.
No, they're traveling around through the galaxy with a spaceship that has not a dimensional drive. It changes reality perspectives of reality.
Galaxy Quest.
No, it's not Galaxy Quest. It's like one time there's a pair of whales, a whale and a flower pot on the side of them. They go looking for this great computer to find the answer of life and everything in the universe. It's something the hand guide book of the universe, whatever it's called.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Wait, what? Say again.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's it. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Douglas Adams.
Yes. Now I forgot the point I was making because I couldn't remember the damn name of the damn thing. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a weird thing, man. It's I don't want to use the word retarded, but it kind of is. It kind of is. It's a doofus movie. It's fun to watch. I mean, it's all fun to watch.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show too. I mean, that came out in the 80s.
Yeah, but see, for me, Rocky Horror is different because not just for like Rocky Horror just fine, but I prefer to go to the movie theater to experience the Rocky Horror players. Watching on TV is all fine and dandy. The music's always fun to listen to, but down here, even today, they still do the Rocky Horror Picture Players. So you go to Rocky Horror, usually they have it on a weekend, late night, like midnight to 2 a.m.
And then audience members dress up like the people on the
and
they
throw lights
in
around
the
and people and stuff, and they dance and it's just an experience.
I would first of all, I would find it annoying because
they don't like
I'm a true cinephile, meaning I like movie cinema. So I want to see the movie. I could care less what's going on in the aisle. So I would be mad, and I would go to the manager and be like, "Hey, tell these fucking people to sit down, or I'm leaving." But also
they would just grab you and strap you down and paint you up, buddy.
But then there was the whole cult thing started with it really early on. People were like, "Oh, you got to see." I'm like, I really have no interest in it.
No, if you don't like,
why do I got to see it? I couldn't figure out the logic on that. And throughout all of the stuff on like Entertainment Tonight TV shows and yada yada, I had seen probably the whole movie just in like trailers and bits on news station shows. And then I actually finally did what NBC did the live version of it.
It's a lot of fun,
and it was a remake. So I watched the actual original first, and then I watched the NBC live version, and I was entirely underwhelmed.
The movie, like I said, I don't go for the movie because I find the movie kind of boring. But I always like the Rocky Horror experience because it's not just they're all acting there like idiots. There's a lot more going on besides that. Nothing we can talk about. This PG-rated 13 show.
The only one who's interesting for me in the whole movie is Tim Curry, and I mean he carried the entire cast. I'm sorry.
They'll have
He
to
just
bring
did.
Jada one down here. I'll change his life. You want to know it? What's that? I couldn't even told you who the characters were in the movie for the first 5 times I went to go see it. Well, they used to have it at the Robert E. Lee Theater, and there would be 40, 50, 60 people showing up just dressed out, decked out. It was insane. No, because it was more like a rave than it was a movie.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
And
the movie was just like background
Heidi
noise,
talks
to be
about-
honest with you.
And Heidi talks about the time warp again. It's one of the songs from the movie. Heidi, if you go to almost any Star Trek convention, not necessarily Comic-Con conventions, but specifically Star Trek themed convention, you're very likely they have an event called 10 Forward, which is a bar from like 8 to midnight or 8 to 1, whatever the drinking time, closing time for those bars in that state. But at the 10 Forward at the Shore Leave, which is now up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, they have a DJ who plays at least twice a night, Time Warp, and all the Star Trek geekies get up. I'm in costume too, so I don't do it, but I sit there for it. It's entertaining and that's fun. But if I am paying $20 to see a movie, I don't want to be distracted by commotion in the aisle. So that's just me as a pure cinemaphile that I can't do that. But the Time Warp is a fun, cool thing.
Well, the Rocky Horror was never expensive. I mean, it was like.
Well, nowadays it is. I mean, it's $60 to take me and one other person to a movie.
No. See, if you want to see Rocky today at the Midnight Cinema, it's probably going to cost you about $10 a person. They got, and then all the whatchamacallit stuff for Rocky Horror is discounted 50% to the popcorn, the drinks, and all of that. They like the Rocky Horror players because it's extra money for them. It's 10 to 2 midnight to 2 a.m. Nobody's going out and seeing movies midnight to 2 a.m. So it's something for them to do. And then there's like the downtown Britannia Theater. That's just an old style 2-brick theater. It has matinees during the weekdays, that are like a third of the price. So is all the stuff. So really today, if you go to the big giant movie places, the 16-plex, the 32-plex, the 40-plex, you're going to get ripped off because there's a lot of stuff they got to cover. But there's still a few small ones around, but majority of the little ones down here got mowed down. They got taken out because, they were in mall parking lots and places like that where they could be making far more money than something that a movie theater could generate. Yeah, so that's what happened to a lot of them. But it's kind of like, I used to like the drive-ins, Kurt. I enjoyed going to drive-ins. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Yeah, man, you sit down. Yeah, I enjoy Big Mike. Come on, you can't get a bigger screen than that, man. Come on, there ain't no movie screen anywhere as big as them damn ones outside are. Get the hell out of here with that. Yeah, we tried that a couple times, throwing people in the trunk and going in. Yeah, it worked a few times. Man, them movie places had some of the best pizza and popcorn I ever had. I don't know what they put in that damn popcorn.
That's the one good thing about that is most movie theaters, indoor theaters, you didn't get pizza. It was popcorn and candy. And maybe hot dogs.
Yeah.
But usually not pizza. So
you ever notice they'll sell you hot dogs a lot of times at movie theaters, but without chili. You get cheese on it, no chili.
The last drive-in I remember that we had, and it didn't last long. they were dying breed when I was a young kid, so they didn't last much through the 80s. In fact, most of them died in the 70s. But the last one I remember, they didn't sell triangle pizza. They sold Elio's. Remember Elio's pizza? The little rectangles you put in the toaster oven for like 5 minutes. That's what, and they were freaking awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. I enjoyed it. What do you mean, the mosquitoes? Well, yeah, if you got outside, but mosquitoes that's a seasonal thing where I live in the South, and it's usually only a dusk or dawn thing. It's not all night kind of thing.
It's either dusk or dawn or both. Yeah, it's when they're the most active.
Yeah, that and that. So, but you just put one of the little green spiral things. I got rid of them anyway. They didn't like that stuff. No, we'd sit out there and eat. And besides that, when you can drink in movie theaters these days. Not when I was a kid, you couldn't. You could drink at drive-thrus, but not at.
That was also an arrival of the 80s. The first one I heard of was in Bethesda, Maryland, called the Bethesda Cinema and Draft House. Then they were open all week long. On Sundays, they didn't have movies. They had all the theaters had NFL football, so you could go in there. They didn't have traditional movie theater seating. They were tiered, but it was tables. it was like a restaurant or a bar, so you could order from your table, get cheeseburgers and whatnot. And that's the thing now. The closest movie theater to me, the only theater really close to me, is called Leitersburg Warehouse Cinema, and they have cocktails, liquor, beer, wine, and then your regular popcorn, your regular movie theater fare. But they also have cheeseburgers, hot dogs, pizza.
Yeah, that's that one here. It's got all plush seats with tables and it's got like dude, it's got those.
We
like,
have
seats.
leather
They're nice.
recliners that are heated and vibrational, so you can have vibrating and heat on your seat, and they recline, so you can be like, it's good. It's very good.
Yeah, it's
but it's expensive. It's $20 a person to get in.
Yeah, but it's worth it. Besides that, a lot
worth
of times they got discount on food and drinks and stuff like that. Well, right now everybody's discounting food and drinks because it's so expensive when you're going to the store, so nobody wants to buy anything when they're in your movies.
I'll tell you this much: if they were smart, they would say, if you buy, when you buy a ticket, you get a free beverage, meaning like an adult beverage. That would bring in a lot of people. You pay $20 for a movie I paid $20 to see This Is Spinal Tap, which I had never seen in the movie theater, but I had seen 50, 100 times on DVD and VHS. Paid $20 for this. Give a guy a coupon for a freaking margarita,
Yeah, well, Sally's inviting us over some AMC popcorn, man.
There we go. Yeah, awesome.
Well,
also, Sally, AMC has I don't know if it's still available. They have a collector's tumbler and collector's popcorn bucket for Back to the Future. Now, the cup is a cup. It's just a cup tumbler. The popcorn bucket is the DeLorean, and the doors open up and two buckets slide out, and you put your popcorn in it. One for each. You put it between your seats, and your gal can get one, or your guy, and you can have one. So it's so cool. And it's $50. I get it.
Well, it's hard on me. I got like a 75-inch TV that's 10 foot from the edge of my bed. I got two different surround sounds, and then I got a 1600-watt stereo system in the studio where I'm sitting right now. So, man, going to a movie to me is like downgrading. I can get all my stuff, hop up into bed, turn everything on. It's like,
except for the fact,
where's the remote? Give me the damn remote. Turn it down, man. It's insane. Sure, come on over. We'll throw everybody on the edge like to do the kids. Get down on the edge of the bed and watch a damn TV show. No, so I actually checked this out because when I got this TV, it was, I had a 55 and a 60. And I said, okay, I was going to get a 65, but they had this really crazy deal on this TV. So I was like, it must be a piece of crap or something for this price. It was like $600 for 75 inches. And it was on sale. It was a rollback. But I get it home and I'm thinking, oh, shit. This thing is huge. And I mean, it's big. And I'm thinking, man, this might be too much. So I started looking up best distances to watch your TV from. So 65 to 75, it's between 10 and 12 feet. That's how far away you should be from the television when you're watching it. Because if not, you're not even any closer to it. You're not even getting the whole screen in your visual preference. It's interesting. So then I went and got I bought the type of TV it is. I bought the sound round that they came with and put it in it, which is nice. But I put it all forward in front of me facing this way because I don't want the stuff behind me. Because I like to turn on, sometimes I'll turn on rainstorms at night because it gets too quiet in the house. And so I'll turn something on sometimes not, but it's that way. Well, if it was full surround in the bedroom, it would be behind me, it'd wake me up when I was listening to it. Or I'll turn on in here and I'll sync it with there. And then it's like someone took you and dipped you into sound. Oh, yes. I mean, the wall stuff, you can actually see the different things on my walls moving and stuff. It's crazy to watch. I like music. I like a lot of things, but I mean, I've always liked music. Jesse, I started out listening to music on an 8-track. Yes, an 8-track. The thing was like this wide. It was this wide and this long.
Remember those?
You had to flip them over for part 2. At least, yeah, you had to flip it over, man. Well, you had to flip your cassettes over too. Don't. No, yeah. CDs you didn't have to flip over.
Well, 8-track, you had 4 channels and then 2 sides. So it was like channels 1 and 2 are on one side, and then you have to take it out and flip it, and then go channel 3 and 4. Yeah, it was.
You know, when you're doing 125 miles down that highway, screaming at some crazy rock song, you don't really want to take it, flip it out, while you drive. You know, you get yourself killed. You know, I managed to survive it, but still.
Well, so the cool thing about my parents' 8-track player was it had these 4 levers on it, right next to where you put the, and it kind of looked like Mr. Scott's console in the transporter room with the 4. They only had 3 levers, 3 buttons that they would slide up to beam people up or down. So that became our transporter. So, and then we had the lights for the tracks 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 8-track. So, we would, push all these buttons on, and then we go 1, 2. All right, we got 4 people beaming down, and that was our transporter when we played Star Trek.
It's 8-track was a long time ago, my friend. I mean, you can still buy them if you wanted to. You can even still find 8-tracks. I see them at flea markets from time to time. It's like albums, the albums are probably worth more, but no, you can still buy turntables. You can get fancy turntables if you want. Turntables are great, but no matter how expensive of a turntable you buy, I bought expensive, cheap, fancy needles, these specialty needles. You're still going to get that shh. Where in digital sound, you're not getting any of that. You can't put digital on vinyl. It just doesn't work. I mean, you can put it on there, but it's still going to sound like vinyl. Because the needle has to physically touch the vinyl and it creates its own sound. Yes, cutting into the vinyl. Even though it's just minute, it creates a sound. You can find out for yourself. You can buy these blank records and throw on one there for tip cleaning. And you can hear them. They'll be making noise while they're going around.
Mm-hmm.
Or better yet, if you don't believe me, lift up your needle and just touch the tip of your needle with your finger.
Yeah. It makes a horrible scraping noise.
That's how sensitive that needle is. So, and when you have a really nice stereo system with big, huge speakers and preamps and equalizers and amps, which that little turns into shh. Man, that sucks. Oh yeah, that sucks. So, to me, the CD was, until we came up with solid state. When we came up with these things, CD was the best thing ever. You could scratch a CD, which sucked, but the audio was clean and crisp. The video was clean and crisp. We got to play all kind of great video games because of CDs. I don't know who thought the micro CD was going to catch on. I never understood that. Oh yeah, let's get a CD this big. No, first off, it's going to get lost. It's going to get broke.
The same guy came out with the floppy disk. At first, it came out with a 5-inch disc, and it came into a 3.5-inch disc and covered in plastic. I mean, they did that with everything.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, on the floppies, they didn't really have a choice because back then the hard drives were so small.
Thank you, Heidi.
I mean, well, I had a barefoot drive. Now the drive itself physically was this long. Took the whole bottom of my computer up and this wide. 1.8 gig. No, wait, I'm sorry. That wasn't even that. That one was 750 megs. That's how big that drive was. 750 meg. Wasn't even a gig. Yeah, so anytime you wanted to store something, you had to put it on floppies.
Well, what did they send the guys up under the moon with? I mean, I think they had.
It was smaller than that, yeah.
Like 12 bytes, 12 megabytes?
I don't know, but they were most of them.
12 gigs? It's very small.
So think what Jay just said. So the NASA computers were like the AFI station's computer where they kept all the Navy's records. These were floors of computers built into ceilings and floors. Yes, floors. So we're talking a whole building at the AFI station was 7 stories tall, and I forgot 300,000 square feet wide or something. It was huge.
Huge banks of, like, depending on the era, is either. My dad remembers the first IBM business computer ran on a machine code that was put on punch cards, like 3x5 the cards. It was punch cards, and they had to be in the correct order. And there was a big tray, and they would go into the machine, and then they would roll back around and go whenever it needed that information again. And it took days, hours, weeks, months. If those cards got knocked over, you had to put them back together. Took up the whole floor of my grandfather's business. Go forward to like NASA times, they had banks of reel-to-reel 1-inch thick magnetic tape, even 2-inch thick magnetic tape on reels going banks of these things in the whole
But even
basement.
NASA in the beginning had punch cards. The matter of fact, when I joined the Navy, they were still using punch cards. Punch cards is just a card. It's about this long and about that wide. It's just like a kind of like a cardboard on which it's got a bunch of little
like,
holes
have you ever
punched
seen
in
a
it.
player piano has the paper with the little holes
That's a
punched
good
out of it? It's
description
just
of it.
like that. It's a 3x5, like the kind of card you'd see in an old Rolodex with little squares and dots and circles punched out of it.
So it was all of that. All that technology was crazy. But what's funny about that is you took the whole entire AFI station from 1970, it wouldn't have as much power as a computer I'm sitting in front of now. And this is only an 8-core sitting in front of. That's not one of the 12 or 36s I got in the house or 24s. So yes, this is like 1,000 times more computing power than what they used at NASA back in the day to go to the moon. Your phone, they would have loved to have had your phone. They could have done calculus things in a matter of seconds instead of months.
Yeah. Or never.
A lot of NASA's math was still done by hand. And it wasn't just by one person, it was by teams of people.
If you look at the old photos, particularly of the control room and of any of the astronauts in certain places, when they've got a little slide ruler out and they're writing down numbers into Apollo 13 shows it best when Tom Hanks opens a book, or is it the other guy? There's little blanks in a mathematical equation, and they have to fill in certain, like the gimbals, the numbers off their gimbal machine, and put them in this. And then they ask the guys down at Houston to double check their math for them. And the guy in NASA has, on the ground, he has the exact same book, and he's using the exact same equation. It's nuts the way we were lucky. So it's lucky.
Well, Jesse, we got at least an hour's worth of alien talking. I know we were bad, but we'll get better. I promise you. No, we got to go because we got 1 minute to Michelle taking over.
Yep.
Yes, Heidi already said she was going to kick us in the ankle if we didn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, she's over there right now with the Michelle. We love you, Michelle. Michelle. Yes. I was talking to Michelle last night. Why, Gene? On the text, we probably talk every day, every other day, every day. In voice and in person. I mean, not in person, but face to face. Every Wednesday and Thursday we talk. I come see her after her show. Yeah, I'll go see her tonight later on. Harass her and stuff. Yeah, Michelle, what's happening? No, just teasing. I don't know. I didn't see if Amelia was on with her tonight. I didn't check, so I'll find out later on. Go pop over and look. Yeah, they're on right. I'm pretty sure they're on right now. If I check,
well, at least their intros and music are playing right now.
Scotty, what do you mean? Who's Scotty? Who are you? Wait, what?
You mean Montgomery Scotty?
Are you from the United States?
Ever heard of Star Trek?
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, really, if you don't know who, he's from Star Trek. Yeah, he's from TOS. The original.
The actor's name was James Doohan. The character's name was Lieutenant Montgomery Scott, and they called him Scotty. And he got fired once by Captain Kirk, by the way.
Yes. For not getting
the movies. Scotty, you're fired.
That's right. You're fired. But we got to get out of here. No, we can't talk about him on this show, but you can bring it up to me on Friday. Yeah,
Friday or Saturday. We got Saturday too.
I don't mind talking about the idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot.
Who's that?
No, I can't say that right now on here though. But anyway, on that note, we're gonna go. No, really. Come find out on Friday, I guess. I don't know what else to tell you. Yes, it's not something we can talk about here. But anyway, on that note, we got to go and thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio.
Thanks, Heidi.
And this is UFO Undercover. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. That's Jay McNichols. Y'all didn't tell Jay congrats. He's doing something. He's running some corporation somewhere. I don't ask questions. Something to do with aliens. I'm not exactly sure. So Sometimes it's just best to leave that kind of stuff alone.
Yeah,
Hey,
Mr. President Donald Trump will announce it tomorrow that I will be the head of the new branch office of extraterrestrial affairs for the rest of his administration.
Yes. Can I go slap somebody? Yes, I can do that. Yes. I've been thinking about applying for press too, because I was listening to something Caroline was saying the other day, and we qualify for their program to go to the White House.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm only 68 minutes away from the actual White House.
Well, I got to see if it costs too much, I might have to send Jay or somebody, because if we can get in, well, what they do is they have a couple of seats for podcasters and stuff now. And we have a big enough audience that we qualify. And actually, I mean, with 40 shows, we qualify for a lot of things. Yeah. Because we're big in a lot of, think about it. Go take a look sometime. Go to radio stations and just count how many shows AM and FM radio stations have. We got more than they do. In a lot of cases, double. But if you count our syndicated shows as well, and in the station's original shows, we have over 106 shows. Most of them 2 hours long. It's a lot of material. Yeah. So anyway, on that note, I want to tell you thanks to everybody who listens to us and everybody else on the network. I truly hope you enjoy United Public Radio and UFO Paranormal Radio. This is UFO Undercover, and Jay and I will be back on Friday. Sean may or may not be with us. He's still catching up. We're giving him time to get, look, he had surgery and he's got them 2 harems. It's a lot for a guy, man. It's a lot. Hey, Sherry, it's just a lot, come on. 2 different sets of twins. Well, they're not even twins. They just look like twins. I don't know how he does it, frankly. But anyway, on that note, thanks everyone for tuning in. And we'll see y'all Friday. Be sure to go over and see Michelle over on the Outer Realm. She's on right now. Tell me you love her. Good night, everybody.